Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Authentic Podcast with Justin Doulard. And thank you for tuning in to another episode. And now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Another genuine conversation with a unique individual. It's time!
All right, we are live. It's a beautiful Saturday evening, and we have spent a good 45 minutes playing with GarageBand because I am terrible at the technology of it. But what do we got going?
Well, I'm glad that we got those issues underway, or kind of. We still got to do some testing after that. But yeah, just a good Saturday. Got to sleep in. That's always good.
Nothing makes me appreciate a musician more than when I open GarageBand, doing almost next to nothing but clicking a couple buttons and plugging a microphone in.
And then once you get like the smallest task complete, you feel like you're Dr. Dre.
The night that you told me the headphone issue happened, I spent probably 3 hours on YouTube watching this for some small button, and then I finally realized the switches. But we got the fights tonight. Those are going to be good.
I'm pretty excited.
You
of
gonna
course.
bet?
Actually, I need to look at the odds. Just depends. I'm such a guy that I'll bet. They sucker me in with the odds because I'm like, I could see it happening, and those are good odds. And then I'll bet pretty good, because of the outcome. Where, for example, if I'd bet on Amanda Nunes, you're gonna have to bet a lot more, but it's just so much more certain. And they suck me in, and that's how I lose all my money.
Why?
So don't take my gambling advice. Anyone that's listening.
Well, especially in fighting, there's the puncher's chance and underdog,
Yeah.
and you want to make more money. Like, you don't want to bet on John Jones, who's you bet 100 and you win 20. You'd rather bet on
It's not sexy.
What's his name? What's the guy's name that he fought? Reyes.
Oh yeah.
You'd rather bet on Reyes and win $400. But sports betting is so fun.
It is. It's so exhilarating, and then you're so mad at yourself, but then you get those happy moments, and then that's exactly why people have gambling problems. So
yeah, you feel like you control it too, or you have some inside information.
Oh, every time you're like, this is my shot too, and you're like, I know it's gonna, and you'll play out this scenario. What'll happen, especially with fighting, is I'll play out the scenario in my mind over and over and over. And I'm like, this is exactly what's gonna happen, and then the second that bell rings and it's not going that way, I'm like, oh shit.
What about when we picked Ferguson over Gaethje, because Gaethje's past two fights, he took it too far to the middle of the rounds, and he gassed out, and it burned us, and then he killed it. So.
But that's the most frustrating thing about that is it looked like it was going how it was supposed to.
It was.
Like I said, because he threw that uppercut at the end of round 2. It was like dropped him, and then I was like, okay, El Cucui's turning it up now. And then obviously didn't get it done. That was so upsetting, dude. What
is your biggest sports bet that you've actually won? I guess not big. It doesn't have to be dollars, I guess, but like your most satisfying one that you've placed and won. Do you have any wins?
Honestly, no major one. I can't compare to your Eagles bet. That still pisses me off. Well, I'm happy for you, but I've never had anything.
Why are you mad about that?
I'm salty because it went
bitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
No, I'm happy, but I think I parlayed Stipe and Nate Diaz on that card.
I remember that one.
But nothing crazy, honestly. I had a lot of losses again.
We all have.
So don't. Yeah, if I'm giving any gambling advice, do not take it. I wouldn't.
I know everybody who is friends with me on any platform is tired of seeing that Eagles bet. But I will share it every single year until I die or until I delete my Facebook or it's gone.
Oh yeah. So did you tell them what the bet was? I guess for the people that are listening, because pretty spectacular. Like you had some foresight into the future.
So, never. Actually, I don't think I'd ever bet on a future for the Super Bowl. at the time, which means before the season starts, you predict a team that you think will win the Super Bowl. And so we go to Vegas for Mayweather-McGregor. We did not go to the fight, but we were there for the fight, which was amazing. The place was insane. People from Ireland, people from the UK, every other person had a McGregor shirt or a TMT hat on for the money team. But anyways, go to the book. The Eagles are 7-9 the year before. We don't do the playoffs or anything. We signed a couple of players, but I was like, I'm going to play some futures. And I went with the methodology. I'm going to go, because it's 32 teams in the NFL, super hard to pick a champion, and it goes back to the odds. If you pick the Patriots, or if you pick, like at the time, the Packers or the Saints, you put $50 down, you're going to win like $30 back. So it's not worth your money. So I was like, I'm going to go somewhere in the middle. So I said, I'm gonna put a small bet on my team, the Eagles, because they're my team, and then I'm gonna pick another team I think is gonna do really well, because I did not think the Eagles were gonna do that well. So I put $20 on the Eagles and $20 on the Steelers by chance. They both made it really far in the playoffs, but long story short, I bet $20, and I think the odds was like plus 2,000 or something. So that means I win $600 back. So first time I ever bet on them. First time in franchise history, the Eagles win the Super Bowl, beat the Patriots. So, and then of course the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, so I bet Kevin Sevilla for $100. Everybody make sure and let him know that.
K-Swiss with the loss.
But anyways, it gets real hairy because Carson Wentz goes down week 13. Going to be the MVP of the league. Tears his ACL. So then we have Nick Foles, and it's not looking great. Everyone's kind of skeptical, including me. I'm like, you actually can sell your bet slips back if you're skeptical. And I thought about it. I was like, I'm going to ride it out. Anyways, they won the Super Bowl. $20 win $600. Hypothetically, I put $100 down. I win $3,000. But they were 7-9 the year before, missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
But that's how a lot of times it goes in the NFL. So like with the 49ers this year, the year before, I can't remember what they were. They were not great. I don't think they made the playoffs. And then they made it to the Super Bowl. Almost won it this year if they didn't screw it up. Kyle Shanahan just can't win a Super Bowl, or he will win one eventually, but he can't control the clock, can't play it right. Hey, they have the game in the bag, but the Chiefs win. But anyways, they made it. So
in the Super Bowl hangover, what they call it?
Yeah, Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. I know I'd be sweating bullets too with Foles. And then the Philly special comes out.
Oh my gosh.
That was sweet. That was nice.
And
that was crazy.
We're up by 8 with like 2 minutes left, and then you can never count out Brady. They come back for the Hail Mary, and it was real borderline. But that, I don't think I can ever top that bet. Just the forecast. It's not about the money. It's about the fact that they won the first Super Bowl ever when I just put $20 down. So.
Right. Lots of good moving pieces that made it a good bet.
Yeah, I remember when I put it on Instagram, Ty was like, you're the biggest combat fight in history, and you're betting on football. I was like, well, I did bet on Mayweather and McGregor too. And that one was funny because I was like, Mayweather hasn't knocked anybody out in like 5 years. I think this is going to go the distance. So I bet like $50 that the fight goes past round 10 or 9, one of the two. And Connor is like insanely wobbly at the end of 9. There's 30 seconds and he's on his tiptoes, and I'm like, dude, do not go out of me right now. You make it like 30 more seconds, I win $80. So. Yeah,
dude, he looked like he had left the bar after about 50 shots. He could barely walk.
Yeah, that was super entertaining. But do you actually think this Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight's going to happen?
That's embarrassing. I think it's stupid because, like,
you don't have to explain why it's stupid, but if you want to.
Yeah, I think it'll happen. I think it's very stupid. I mean, it sounds like it is. And then Floyd said he's retired like 8 million times. I never believed that statement to begin with. And then, like, he fought the kickboxer, the Tension, whatever his name is,
over in China.
Yeah, and then
but
that was even embarrassing.
Right?
That was embarrassing too to me, because I'm like, that guy has no chance. And then Logan Paul's 0-1. He hadn't even won a match.
I wonder how that even comes about. I don't know. I've predicted things, or I've said things that people say and they're going to happen, and I'm like, it'll never happen, and it does. I don't actually think that's going to happen, and I hope it doesn't. I mean, I'm a sports fan, and it's, I'll probably watch it if it does. I think they're saying we'll stream it on YouTube because he's a big YouTube guy, right?
Right. And then his brother Jake Paul is fighting Nate Robinson, the basketball player.
That actually is happening
on the Tyson Roy Jones Jr. card. Yeah,
that got bumped to what, October, November?
Yeah, October something. Which actually, Jake, his last fight, I mean, he didn't look bad. He didn't look half bad.
Isn't Nate Robinson like 5'5" or something?
Yeah, I think Jake will win. Because, I mean, Nate's never had a fight. And then Jake, I mean, he trains with Shane Mosley, I'm pretty sure. And he goes up to Big Bear, which is, where all the fighters,
but
go.
Nate, wasn't he like a college football player before he was in the NBA too?
I don't know, honestly.
I think he was.
I'm not 100%
pretty well-rounded
sure.
athlete, but who knows?
But, I mean, And then Jake didn't look too bad. Again, he was, going against some other, little YouTube guy or whatever, probably. So, but dude, that's what's crazy about that fight is they had them over actual boxers with
Who?
Jake Paul, his last fight. They had like real boxers on the undercard.
But they were higher?
Yes.
They were on the main
and I'm
card,
pretty,
or what?
and don't quote me on this, but I want to say one of them might have been for a strap that was under 2. And I'm like, dude, if you're a real boxer, I'd be pissed. But I mean, it's bringing in more views,
See, if they're going to do that, I think they need to go full-blown celebrity boxing.
Right. Have their own promotion of it and
Yeah.
not mix with the zone. Yeah. Because I'm like
Whenever,
I'd slap Eddie Hearn in the face.
however it came about, but it was supposed to be Justin Bieber and Tom Cruise were going to fight.
Oh, God.
I know this is like stupid, like People magazine gossip, but now I think like 8 out of 10 people that are sports fans would watch that because that would be funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I don't want to see Justin Bieber fight a real boxer. I want to see him fight Tom Cruise or I don't know, some other rapper or
You know what I want to see?
what?
And I don't know if I'm sure you remember it.
Let's see.
Pros versus Joes make a comeback, but with all these people that talk shit all the time. Like when they comment, they're like, "Oh, you ain't shit," and they'll be like, "Okay, let's do Pros versus Joes right now."
Yeah, that was
That'd
an
be-
ESPN segment where they would run him through drills and try to tackle like Marshawn Lynch.
Ricky Williams was on there, I believe.
Yeah,
And
you try to like play one-on-one with LeBron.
yeah.
First one to like 20.
But imagine if they had that with fighting with all the people that are always, hollering from the stands.
That would be funny.
Yeah, because that would be no joke. Even if it was like, even a freaking 180-pound dude versus one of the flyweight women, dude, they would get worked.
Henry Cejudo versus Shevchenko.
Shevchenko might get him. She's nice.
Henry Cejudo.
That was funny. The Trump rally. He introduced Henry Cejudo, Justin Gaethje, Dana, yeah, he butchered, their names, and then, he's trying to act like he knew a lot about them, but you could tell he didn't know much. Like he just met him 3 minutes before.
He's just feeding into his market. He's in the fight capital of the world, Vegas. So he's like, these guys are UFC fans. I'm gonna win them over right here. Of course, and they're already at the rally, so I mean, they already love him even more.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know he was coming into town or anything, and then he sent out like a tweet, of course, or something, and then there was like a big traffic deal. He's actually been a couple times since I've been. Like I was on the highway one time and it was backed up for like 45 minutes, and then they were like, people were like literally getting out of their car and then like just chilling on the highway, and I was like, what's going on? And they were like, Air Force One's coming in and Trump. And
have you ever talked to anybody who's worked in DC?
No.
DOD or military or at the Pentagon or really anywhere in DC, they say that when some bigwig comes through, often the president, vice president, all those political people that I don't know about, when they come through, could be announced, could be unannounced, but it's just like life pauses and you just have to react.
Right.
Like driving.
No matter what.
And a guy I used to work with, he told me that I've never been to DC. A lot of people have, but one-way streets change directions at different times of the day.
There's no way.
Yep.
There's no way I would ever do that, because I remember when I first moved to Tulsa and I went downtown Tulsa, I was like, I'm never coming back here ever again in my life. And then now it's, not that well, but
why do one-ways suck so bad? But yeah, in DC, one-ways will change. We're small town Tahlequah. This is probably common in every major city, but we just never seen it. But no, yeah, change directions at like afternoon and stuff. And then if those the officials come through, they basically just like the street's closed, like find an alternate route home. And of course, it's a lot like a lot of major cities, but people say that the commute is just ridiculous. Getting a block away in DC is.
yeah. I remember I interviewed for a job, and then it was to hire IT people, and then it was government stuff, And then they were like, our big clients are in Washington mostly, and he was like, these cats will have job offers like within a 5 mile radius. There'll be like, 8 million. There's so many different options, and he was like, and that's one of the big things you have to factor in, because most people that haven't lived there, they'll say, oh, I'll drive 40 minutes away or however many miles away, but they're like, no, you won't until you get there. It's a different ball game.
Yeah, where we're from, small town, you get 5 miles in 3 minutes on an expressway or on the bypass or whatever.
And that's probably the weirdest thing about living in a big place for me. For example, like I was telling someone the other day, I was like, I don't have any reason to leave Las Vegas for anything, right? Whereas when I was in Tulsa, you'd still be like, oh, I need to go to OKC for this, I need to go here for that, or blah blah blah. But it's just like outside of that, I'm like, what do I need to leave for? It's weird. So like,
what's the biggest difference or change from living like Oklahoma to Vegas that's not obvious? A lot of people still, and I might have thought that way when I was like 16, 17, but a lot of people think that when you live in Vegas, you like go to a casino every day.
Dude, people think you live in the hotel. That's what
people really think that.
Yeah, well, a lot of people. Well, I don't get asked that, but a lot of the people that are from there, like from the gym and stuff, they've been like, people be like, oh, so which hotel do you live in? And they're like,
no way.
What? Yeah. But dude, that's like people think people live in teepees and shit in Oklahoma still.
Yeah,
you're like,
people
come
from
on.
New York.
Yeah, which is crazy. But the biggest difference, honestly, the traffic, or like what I love about it is it's very U-turn friendly. And I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but like, for example, when you're in Tahlequah, you're like trying to take a left out of the Taco Bell or something, and there's like, dude, someone will be waiting there for like 10 minutes, and you're like, dude, just take a right and go. Like they force that a lot, but then you can actually do U-turns, so it like makes you take a right and then go take a U, and then it's just like the flow of traffic's a lot better. I like that. Obviously the people just so different, and the lifestyle, and just different people mostly. And then the weather, obviously, the weather's completely different, night and day.
No grass.
Yeah, just desert,
gravel,
just desert. And then everything's pre-corona, at least it's getting back decent now, but everything's 24 hours, dude. So like if you wake up at 3 a.m, you're like, I want this, you can do it. Anything. It's awesome. So that's what I like about it. Not that that happens frequently, but it's always sucks when you're like, man, I'm craving this, and you're like, oh, it's closed. And it's like that away from the strip too. It's not just by the strip. It's like, where I live, everything's 24 hours.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
There's actually a residential area. It's not just a party city 24/7. Of course it is, but it isn't as well.
It is weird though how, like you said, all those little bars. There's so many little bars and pubs that are just open 24 hours too, and they're always busy. And it's just weird. It's always going.
The local spots.
Yeah.
What about the guy that the $1 billion city that never stops?
Oh God, that was the funniest thing ever.
We're on the strip 3 days before Corona like blew up the U.S. I came to visit and was borderline if I should go or not, because it was still really early.
It was a very weird time.
Yeah, we didn't know, and it was like 2 days after the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Utah Jazz canceled the game. When everyone's in the stadium, they waved it off, and they're like, everybody's got to leave. And then so everyone was like, oh, we canceled. What are we doing? Everyone's still kind of weird. And this was so early. That was when Dad, bring your mask. Okay, I have some masks. He kind of prepped us early.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to wear my mask on the plane. And I didn't. And I brought Lysol wipes with me because, my dad is a healthcare worker, and he kind of gave us the forecast. I brought all this stuff with the intention to wear it and then wipe down my seats, but the flight was still full. Not a soul was wearing a mask. No workers, no airport workers, no plane workers. And so I knew if I put one on, I was going to look like strange. So I didn't, because no one did. Not one person. But then we get out to Vegas, and it's no shows. We were supposed to go to the Post Malone concert. Missed it by a day.
Yeah, because it was March 14th. 15th.
Okay, so Post Malone had a show in Denver and Vegas. He plays Denver.
Mm-hmm.
The next night, Vegas canceled, and then we were supposed to watch the fights.
Yeah,
they weighed in.
Dude,
they weighed in the night before. The last thing you do, and then they cancel it the next morning, right?
No, like right after the weigh-ins, I believe. Like a few hours after. And then, it's like, why haven't we in?
So yeah, everything is starting to get canceled, and we're starting to realize like where this
whoa.
is going to go. And then, like that, a day later, MGM Properties announced they're no longer booking rooms. But anyways, we're on the Strip, and I think this guy is like trying to sell, the
promoter of some sort.
the promoter of the clubs or the prostitution or the showgirls. And then this guy's like, kind of annoyed. He's like, you're going to have to find a new business because things are about to shut down. Everything's shut down. And this guy's arguing with him, and he's like, yeah, man, just go back to Kansas. He's like, this is $1 billion city. We don't sleep. Nothing shuts down in Vegas.
Like it was a movie scene.
Like a movie scene. He's like, yeah, good luck with that. You're going to have to find a real job in about a week. 48 hours later, Vegas is like nothing. No rooms, no shows. Like I think flights were getting canceled.
Dude, everything just, like it hit a concrete wall. Was just like, we're doing nothing now.
Yeah, That was at the peak of March Madness. March Madness was on the brink of, is it postponed or is it
done for?
Yeah, are they still going to do it, or are they going to delay it? And then of course everything got canceled. All sports seasons got put on, and I think the only thing that really all college got, they still don't have a plan for that, right? That was it. Like there's no champion, there's no March Madness. That's over.
Yeah,
it just ended.
Right?
Yeah, because UND was supposed to play first round playoffs there, and then they bumped it and they said, okay, no fans.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said neutral site game, and then they said no game, and then they said game delayed 2 weeks, and then they said it's over.
It's insane.
Yeah,
I know, and all my time frames now are just all ran together, like days, weeks, and everything.
Right.
I kind of lose track of time.
Yeah, the moral story of that was the gentleman who was like, told this dude, go back to Kansas. The city never sleeps, and then 48 hours later, the city
sleeping.
Took a big nap.
Took a snoozer.
And there's still no shows, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think there is. I think no shows because the movie theaters aren't even open still.
I miss the movies really bad.
Dude, I know. Someone put up a Instagram post with the movie theater, and I was like, I was like, I miss movie theater popcorn with all of me.
I love the AMC so much.
Dude.
AMC, I love you, and I wanted to go just donate them some money. Just that's the first business or the only business I thought about donating money to, but I miss it, and then I feel bad for them.
Dude, yeah, the AMC 20 over by Sky Fitness in Tulsa.
The best.
Dude.
That's like the best hidden gym. It's like tucked away, and no one knows about it. It's kind of hidden, and it's so beautiful.
Dude, yeah, me and Cade Mack went and watched, what is it, Bleed for this or whatever, with the guy, I forget his name. He's about a boxer. We were in Tulsa, and we're like, let's find the cheapest movie theater, or a really cheap one, And then so we went there, and then reclined seat. I mean, just the whole 9 yards, and I was pretty well priced. And I was like, what the,
Yeah, no, the red reclining seats. $9 ticket. It's like $2 more than the worst movie theater possible.
Right. Dude, that's like...
I miss the movie so much.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the last movie you saw in theaters?
It was...
I think I know mine, but I'm not for sure.
No, I know where I was at. I was going to bring up is, surprisingly, the Palms, their movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
Very cheap. Cool. Very cheap. You figured it'd be overpriced, but that's what the last movie I saw where it was at, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but...
I think ours was... Lindsay said this, and I think she's right. I think it was Uncut Gems, which is
terrible movie.
Maybe I should have saw 2020 coming because that movie sucked.
Yeah, and I feel like some people were like, "Oh, it's so good." There's zero climax, and I was like, the best scene was whenever he was like holding the door closed,
glass door, watching the game.
And I was like, I felt like that should have been a normal scene for how the movie was portrayed.
That scene should have been plugged in about 35 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
Not the end when and then he shoots himself, right?
I can't remember it so bad. I was like, dude,
if you haven't seen Uncut Gems, I might have ruined it for you, and I might have saved you because it's terrible.
You did save them.
I'll
have a debate with anyone that it was a terrible movie.
When like chaos is going on, most people are kind of anxious. I'm not one of those people, but that movie, I was like, they're just yelling the whole time for nothing. Like if you have anxiety, that is not a good place to be.
I know, and I was excited because I was like, Sandler and not a comedy movie. It's kind of like Jim Carrey in that movie 23 or whatever. I don't even remember like.
That was weird, but yeah.
But I was just like, I'm intrigued.
Did you watch the Gambler with Mark Wahlberg?
No, I heard it was kind of the same.
See, I liked The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg. I didn't think it was great, but there was a climax and point. He You know, opening scene, unlike Uncut Gems, opening scene, he like loses all his bankroll, and then he has to figure out how he's going to get out of debt, and he has this plan,
Right.
and it shows him like doing his normal everyday life and being followed and meeting with other people. It kind of set the tone instantly. He like keeps doubling down, you know, like,
Right,
kind of like we
right.
do with our $100 and lose. He keeps going and then loses. I thought it was okay, way better than Uncut Gems, but
Right. I know. I need to go watch that because I think I saw. I think I started it one time and didn't. I probably fell asleep, to be honest.
the opening scene, the first 10 minutes, will definitely, if you
Get
get
your
that,
juices flowing.
give you like some anxiety because he just starts going all in,
Oh.
and then obviously it doesn't go well.
Then you have flashbacks of you chasing losses.
Yeah,
That's me. I chase losses bad.
going all in. It eventually hurts you.
Dude, that reminded me of the movie Switch. I think it is with Will Smith.
Oh, the Thieves,
Yes, dude. Great movie. The
With
the football scene.
the Saints,
Oh,
the
yeah.
number.
Yes.
Yeah, because he keeps just betting him, right, and then he finally gets it back because he does the
Yeah.
number trick or whatever.
Right, right.
He's
He
got
bets the house.
Yeah, he's got the chunky guy on the sideline, the fake guy. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they're like all day like programming that number in his head or whatever to pick.
They keep telling it and repeating it.
Yeah. Good movie. Will Smith's great.
Yeah, he is. I think he was actually working on some other movies, and I don't know if they got paused because of Corona. And I haven't heard about any of the movies that were supposed to come out when they are. Like I know, so Disney Plus did like Mulan on their like streaming platform, and you have to pay for an extra membership. But some of the other movies that were going to go out, I haven't really heard when they're, because some theaters are open now.
Yeah, I saw The Rock actually today upload. However many movies he can be in. But Secure the Bag, I would too. He uploaded a deal. They're restarting filming some Netflix show or movie, and then he's talking about the safety precautions they have to go through. And
Dude, I love The Rock, but
can't blast him in everything.
He's doing too much.
Yeah, I know, because it's just like
He's in like kids movies, he's in action movies, he's in like Ballers, and he does a great job. But I feel like he just doesn't say no to any role.
It's just kind of oversaturated.
Yeah,
Kind of like what's it, Samuel L. Jackson.
oh my, but see, I don't know, Samuel Jackson.
He's
I think,
not a good actor. Or I mean, he's a good actor. Sorry, but I'm just not like a Samuel L. guy. Like I don't.
But some of his stuff are small bits.
Yeah, but The Rock's like the main dude in
Yeah.
every. Yeah.
I think it's just too much.
Dude, that's like Jumanji too. Like okay,
I didn't even watch that crap.
No,
that looked terrible.
So it was a good movie, but it's not even the same concept, it seems like, because it's like a video game and stuff. I'm like, you could have just made, and it doesn't follow the storyline as much. So I'm like, you could have just made it your own deal, right? And
Don't
not
call it Jumanji.
Exactly. Because it's a video game, and then they have like multiple lives, and then they come back to real life. It's not like, it was just weird. I'm like, don't just make it its own thing.
Well, you know what they probably did? They probably paid
To get the rights of the name.
Jumanji because that's going to sell more tickets.
Exactly.
Because that probably sold you. I mean, otherwise you probably would not have watched that. You think?
Yeah, probably not, because that's like his movie. What was it, like San Andreas or whatever? It was like at one point, like the largest blah blah blah. However many records, and I'm like, I had zero interest in the movie.
Yeah.
Zero. I saw, and there was actually the post I sent you at The Rock. His gate, his like security gate to his house.
Oh yeah.
And he said he was late to run into film, and then it had a power outage, and he's like, usually I flip this switch and it opens, and then he said it couldn't, so he ripped the thing off of the hinge, like a big gate to get into your freaking house, rips it off.
You think that's real? You think he really did that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's insane.
Oh yeah, bro.
Because he said they were starting production, and he knew if he was late, there's hundreds of people waiting on him, and
What a
he was
guy.
already 45 minutes late, so he just ripped his his private gate off, and then called his maintenance crew to come fix it back.
Yeah, I believe it. That guy's so big. And then, yeah, dude, that's like, you ever imagine if the Rock got in the octagon, like if he trained, I'm like, dude,
I wonder how much he weighs. Obviously, he'd be a heavyweight.
yeah. I
But
mean, I think
There's no way he could cut down to less than 205.
dude. I mean, that's like Paulo Costa, bro. You would never think that guy would weigh 185. Dude, I've weighed 190 pounds before.
Is that
And
185 middleweight?
And if he can go down to one, dude, he looks like it's insane.
He looks like a heavyweight.
If you like just showed a casual person, you're like, what? And you're like, hey, these are the weight classes. What do you think this guy fights at? They'd probably be like, dude, is he super heavyweight or
Yeah.
That's insane.
I would love to see him sized up next to Brock Lesnar. just to see. Obviously,
Right,
Brock
just-
will
just
be
the-
bigger, but
Yeah, but just the comparison, because you're like, dude, you fight at 185.
yeah. You could,
That's a fight I'm
you
ready
could do
for.
heavyweight without even blinking.
That's a fight that I can't wait for.
So
I think about it every day.
I know you do. You
Every
showed
day.
me
Watch
that-
the promo at least 4 times a day.
There we go.
It's insane.
So, what's your prediction on that one then? Official. If you watch the promo 4 times a day, you should have prepared a decent scenario in your head. So, what do you got?
I think I might need a little more time,
Mm-mm.
but
I don't like that answer.
I'm going Izzy, round 3. KO.
No way.
Huh? Yeah.
No way.
Dude.
You can't knock that guy out.
Yeah.
Hear it on record for all the 30 people tuning in. You can, that's
31.
crazy.
31. No.
42. 42. My 4-year-old son.
Yeah. So Paulo Costa is going to come in hot, dude.
The
Hot.
Brazilian bull.
The Eraser.
What's his nickname?
The Eraser.
Okay.
And then he's going to swing for the fences. Izzy's not going to be there. He's, and then his precision.
Izzy.
His precision's too good, man. And then he's going to clip him right in the sweet spot. And then he's going to fall like a sack of bricks.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I've been wrong before.
I wouldn't be mad if Paulo Costa won either. I like him too. But Stylebender's my guy. One of them.
So if I gave you $100, you would pick Israel right now.
Yes.
Okay.
I would bet the most I'd bet 250. It would be I'm not confident. Not past that, I'd be like, I don't know.
A guy who's 13-0 as well, never lost.
Dude, it's just he's too technical. And like I said, he's such a great kickboxer. I mean, he's like I said, he's had literally 80, 100 kickboxing fights. Like you can't replicate that many rounds.
Yeah.
And then his takedown defense is really good. And Paulo Costa, I don't think he's going to try and take it to the ground. He wants to just end them. So it's just a straight stand up, stand and bang it out.
Who, Gaethje or Khabib?
I'm going to go with the Eagle. I'd like to see Gaethje win. So he's a phenomenal wrestler, as everyone says, but we just haven't seen it. And here's the deal is, if you're a good wrestler like that, I'm sure he drills it and, works it all the time too, but you can't mimic those live rounds, and then...
well, he never uses it either.
That's what I'm saying.
And then would this be the right time or the wrong time to use it?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You never used it before, and now you go against someone who that's all they do.
Right.
So is it good or bad to neutral that out? But I've been wrong about him, but he's the type of guy that he just doesn't look like he's ever going to try it unless someone tries on him.
Exactly. And then the only worry is, with Khabib is the leg kicks. But dude, Khabib, he fought Barboza.
Yeah.
And took leg kicks. And then, but if Gaethje can chop away that lead leg and just chop it, take that away, I think he can have some success. But I think Khabib's going to try and take him down, ASAP. And then, yeah, he's too good.
I was trying to look up some other big ones we got coming up. So we got Gaethje, Khabib. We got Israel, Paulo Costa. There's some other ones too we got coming soon. Some other big title fights at the end of this year.
Oh.
So Cody and
Figueiredo.
yeah, I can't ever say it. Figueroa.
I'm probably butchering that too. But
That's a flyweight title. I don't know much about that guy. I know he looks good. He beat what's his name?
Make me draw a blank now.
Benavidez.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, twice.
The first
one
one
on the first one.
Dude, I love Joe. I love Benavidez.
Do you?
Yeah, I love him. I don't know why. But the first one, he got that headbutt, and then he kept saying, that's why I lost. And then, but then in my mind, I'm like, if you got headbutted, he did as well. Like they both took the trauma. So, and then the second match, we saw how that went.
Yeah, I didn't. I think I watched the replay on those. I don't know if I actually watched it live. I know he lost twice, but so then Cody gets that shot. That'll be interesting to see moving down to flyweight.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
How does a grown man hop on the scale 125 pounds? I'll never understand it. I know he's like 5'5", 5'4", but it doesn't matter.
Dude, that's light. Because Yeah, I'm like the lightest I've ever been in a long time, and it's
Po-
like 55, 60.
Yeah, post 18 years old, what's the smallest you've weighed? 155?
Post 18?
Yeah, as an adult.
Yeah, right now, 55.
Yeah, I not what I used to be body wise, but I weighed 135 in 8th grade because I wrestled for 1 year and it was the worst year of my life, mind you. But not that bad, but it wasn't fun. And I mean, I was an absolute stick.
I weighed 145 my junior year of high school and played running back. That's what that I'm now looking around. I'm like, how did I'm like, that was tiny, dude.
Yeah, of
I
course.
had no muscle mass to me, and it was just such a frail little. I don't know
Yeah.
how
But
that worked.
in 3A ball, a lot of those guys
Yeah.
were weighing that too. Obviously, you get the occasional guy who's pretty thick, but
Right.
it still just blows my mind that these guys are 125 grown men, professional athletes. But
It is insane. And then like, yeah, you're like, how do you have anything to lose? You know, I mean, the waterlogging obviously will, help you lose quite a bit, but still, it's like something's got to go.
yeah,
And
well,
if it's not there, then what? How does it?
yeah, well, like Jimmy Flick for those tuning in, we're supposed to have Jimmy Flick on Tuesday or Wednesday. New UFC fighter just signed a contract off Dana White Contender Series out of Tulsa area, Oklahoma. Anyways, I watched one of his clips and he said he cuts 20 pounds, or he said for that fight he cut 20 pounds. So even with that, going down to flyweight, he was weighing 145. That's before a cut.
Yeah, that is insane, dude. Like I said, junior high. I graduated in 2012. That was a long time ago. That was the last time I weighed that.
Yeah,
Well, I guess I'm not far off now, but
still ridiculous. Do you think you could get to 135 for a cut? Get to bantamweight?
yeah.
Be miserable?
Yeah, I mean, because, well, like I said, my body, like, it can fluctuate really. It's weird because, like I said, over Labor Day, I, wasn't the best human. I'm not going to lie. I did, I had some booze. I had a lot of fried food and ate pretty bad.
Ozarks, right?
Yeah, like the Ozarks. And then when I left, it was 155. And I came back, and then I stayed away from the gym for a couple of days because I was like, in case, the whole Corona deal or whatever. And then a little break, give a little rest because I haven't had a break in a bit. And then I came back 165. I was like, holy, that's 10 pounds. That's pretty quick. But then I went to the first day I went to the gym, I came back, it was 160, and then that next day I was at 157. So it's like that. And then plus if you waterlog, I think I've never done it, but I think you can get about 8 pounds, from that. And then, to get the food, the diet right, and then I think you could, but it wouldn't be fun by any means.
You should try a mock cut with one of your guys the next time they do a fight just to see. And then of course, if you get halfway and you want to puss out, you can because you're not fighting. But you should try it and see.
Yeah, I thought about it, and I don't think it'd be interesting.
Those guys too. That's so admirable that for like guys on the undercard or Bellator or in Legacy or someone who's working a full-time job and then doing a fight camp after work and then cutting weight. So
Girlfriend's gotta hate you.
Yeah.
Job's gotta suck.
You got
Everyone's like,
kids.
dude.
you go, you work at some guys work at 8 to 10 hour days doing manual labor, doing anything, sitting at a computer with no food. And if you're in an office, people are eating donuts and
People are pissing you off.
Yeah.
You just, Oh, I know. It's crazy. Those guys fight for nothing.
Yeah, that's interesting. We read some of those articles, which I think we knew, but it was an ESPN article I pulled up, and some of those guys on the undercard making 10 to 15 grand a fight, maybe less. I think I could be wrong.
Some are 10 and 10.
I've been wrong before, not many times, but $10,000 to fight in a professional. It's still ridiculous. I don't know anything about mixed martial arts outside of being a fan of my recliner, but it's ridiculous. That's
especially the biggest promotion. It'd be different, like the other
premier,
ones, like Bellator, LFA, or Cage Warriors. Like I could see because you don't have much to work with.
Yeah.
But like even the bare knuckle, dude, they're paying people out the ass at bare knuckle. Probably just gonna try and promote it. But you're like, so how does the UFC? You're like, 10 and 10 is, dude, 10 and 10. If that's because at that point, if you're at the UFC, that's got to be your life.
I really I think we said this on podcast 1, but I want to talk to somebody about the pay structure and the schedule and how it works. Because, so say you're on the undercard. We're not going to delve in this too much because we talked about it last time, but you make 15 grand to fight. We'll say even high on 20 on the undercard. You fight 4 times a year, or you probably 3, maybe depending on what you do health wise, because some of those guys get hurt. That's only 60 grand before taxes, before paying your trainer, before flying to Vegas. Gosh, I mean that's ridiculous to be a professional
Gear,
athlete.
supplements, all kinds. I mean, they'll get sponsors too, but not that big of ones.
Can't be that high on that
right.
level undercard.
I mean, you're not getting sponsored by like Muscle Farm and shit whenever
right.
you're, or like all these big guys.
What about So let's go back to the Ozarks.
Oh yeah.
So you follow the Nelk Boys.
Yes.
The pranksters on YouTube, Nelk Boys, and you see that they're going to be there. So you're like, cool. Hopefully we see them. Did you sniff them out, or did you run into them pure accident?
Pure accident. So because we
Or
were,
excuse me, pure coincidence per se.
or yeah, whatever, coincidence. Where we actually just
Labor Day weekend, right?
Yeah, it was the last day we were there, and then I believe we just turned in the boat because we rented a boat, and then we headed over because we met up with this bachelorette party. They were pretty cool, and then so we went to this place, had like a pool and a bar and all that, and we're just sitting there chilling, and then someone was like, "Yo, there's a Note Boy." So I was like, "Huh?" And turned to my left, and the Kyle guy walks up and has his little camera crew, and then his security guard and one of the other guys that's not as popular. And then I was like, "What up, dude?" I was like, "Hey," and then started talking, and then he bought us some Jaeger bombs, and haven't had one of those in a long time. And
they're just chilling at the bar,
just chilling and scoping it out, and then we
filming the whole time, right?
Yeah. And we didn't get on the video though too, because it was funny because my buddy Keegan had some Yeezy slides on too, and then they're like filming those and just trying to get some content, and then he bought us some shots, and then I bought us a couple shots too. Tried to get him to take a Jameson shot, he wouldn't do that, and then
he just said no.
Yeah, he's like, and I was like, I'll get you. He's like, Jaeger bomb, so I got him and the other guy a Jaeger bomb, and then
I don't drink a lot, but I have never enjoyed Jaeger.
Yeah, dude, it's terrible. The last time I took a Jaeger of anything, I was at Tulsa Oktoberfest, and Matt Jones, if you're listening to this, I'm still mad about this. There's a shot ski,
Shot ski?
You ever done a shot ski?
I think so. Is it the ice luge or something? Or?
No, it's like they have a ski.
It's the ski.
Yeah, and then there's like 8 shots or whatever.
Yeah.
And then,
that'll never happen again.
Oh,
Corona, since Corona.
Right.
Or to be like 2025.
Exactly. And then he was like, "Dude, come here." And I was like, "Okay." And I didn't even ask what it was, or because we needed one more person, so I grabbed a stranger. And again, that won't happen. And I was like, "Hey, come take this with us." And then I was like, just ran up there and whoop and took it. And I was like, "Oh, dude." And
you didn't know what it was?
Because I just walked, because they're like, "Hurry!" And there's a lot of people waiting in line and stuff. And then as soon as I took it, dude, when you get that, you start wanting to spit up, and you're like, "Dude, I might puke right now." That's how. But with the Jaeger bomb, the bull kind of helped a little bit, but it's still bad.
Matt's real good about setting people up like that, whether he does it on purpose. Because remember what he did to me in New Orleans?
Oh,
that
dude.
was brutal.
Dude, you took that like a champ.
I had to. I was on a piano bar, and everyone was roasting me already.
You got the spotlight. You can't give up.
I look like a fat little leprechaun sitting on this
on
piano.
The piano.
Yeah,
tell them all that.
We're at a piano bar in New Orleans during Mardi Gras, which was oh my god,
that'll never happen.
Bucket list, but it was too overwhelming, too much. But at the piano bar. And then Matt, we're all having a couple beers, but Matt gets a boot beer, a glass full of beer in a boot, I think, DOS boot, or some big glass.
A big beer.
Everyone there is drinking like Bud Light or Coors Light. And then, of course, Matt gets like some 13-point German beer, like the sophisticated bastard that he is. And then I had finished a bottle of beer, and then, of course, all the bros are like, it's his bachelor party, so the guys, the piano bar guys, like, come up on stage, and he sings this little
fine tune,
roasting me about being a bachelor and stuff, which is funny. But he's like, "You don't have a beer? You gotta chug this beer to this song." And then the first person that hops up is Matt, and I think Matt handed it to me prematurely, like, "Hey, you look awkward without a beer on stage." It's like, okay, that's fair, I'll take it. And then the guy's like, plays like a 3-minute piano solo roasting me about like
it was great too.
It was awesome. It was really funny. And then at the end he goes, he's like, chug that beer, and then the whole bar's like, chug that beer, and this thing's like 32 ounces,
and you can't back out
of 13%, some ridiculous beer. And I did it. I don't know how I did it. I couldn't. And then of course Matt afterward was like, I don't know how you did that, but it happened. And I was like, same. But when there's 80 people in here staring at me, I have to put it down. And I felt terrible afterwards.
Dude, that was crazy. In Mardi Gras, dude, there was like you couldn't walk again. Like looking back at some of the situations you're in pre-corona, you were like, if you like took that visual now, people would like have a nightmare. But dude, yeah, freaking, we're walking and a guy has a long neck, finishes it and just chunks it into the crowd, like hits someone, and I'm like, dude, you can't do that.
He did though.
Yeah, I know, and no one did anything. I was like, hopefully that doesn't happen to me because I've seen some crazy stuff in New Orleans.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Everyone who asks me my record or like Mardi Gras, I want to go my bucket list. I say, here's my deal. I'm a see it to believe it guy, and I'm a bucket list guy, so I don't regret it. But I will say, it is way too much. So remember the streets. Take the busiest bar, nightclub, stadium, anything you've ever been in, the busiest where you are sliding by people back to back. Take that, and it's the entire French Quarter, the whole street. So, you know, to get a block away would be like walking through the busiest nightclub you've ever been. And it's
times 100.
Yeah, and I mean, fortunately, you know, nothing ever happened. You know, people get robbed, people get beat up, but like I said, wouldn't take it back. It was fun. Oh, and then the parades. Oh,
dude, I don't even want to get started on those.
You watch the parade, you can't cross the street until the parade's over, and the parade is like 45 minutes to an hour and a half or something ridiculous.
It was like 74 days.
If you want to cross the street to eat, go to your hotel, use the bathroom,
take a dump,
anything, you have to walk, you have to detour like a mile and a half, circle the block and come back. And yeah.
I think me and Cody Bear were about to squat on the side of a dumpster and take a shit.
I really, really wanted to hop on a parade so I could get to where it was going.
Yeah.
And
just get out of here. Get away from all these people.
And if you try to cross and block, people block you. People put old women watching the parade, all these crazy old Cajuns push you back.
Dude, and in there, and not to mention that the people on these big, tall, like buses and stuff in the parade, they're not, it's not like your homecoming parade where, you know, little Tootsie Rolls are getting tossed out. They're humming all these beats and like, dude, I'm like dodging it like I'm slipping punches and shit. And it was like, I was like, dude, you're going to.
Like Brett Favre with a Snickers bar.
Yeah, dude. They were not messing around. And then everyone's just.
Is that Drew Brees up there? You get pelted with a fun-sized candy bar.
Dude, yeah. And then beads and just all kinds of other objects. You're like, dude, this is insane. And then there's so much purple and green and yellow. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, so I guess if anyone has ever not been to New Orleans and think about going, I think my recommendation would be go in the spring when it's a little more chill, or excuse me, when it's a little cooler. And then the summer's fun. It's just it's really hot, but
and it's already nasty there as it is and dirty. But I remember I will never forget that we're walking back to the hotel at like 6 a.m. and
got up for an early morning run.
Yeah, it's a little bit dead then, but like the street sweepers are out and they're cleaning the streets, and I can't even describe how much trash was on the ground, and then all the people in their businesses, they'll spray like the front of their business off with the water, like to, I don't know, clean it off. And then it just has this like humid, musky stink. And then they're like,
and the sewage system can't keep up and it's backed up and you can smell it. And
yeah,
a great time though. I mean, just be prepared. I'm sure most people know that, but
yeah, but the intensity of Mardi Gras, I knew it was gonna be crazy, but that was crazy.
Yeah, so many
fun time. I love New Orleans. So.
Yeah, I really want to go back. I feel like that's a spot that's not going to be itself for
a long time.
Yeah, just because the city runs on seafood and liquor.
Yeah, and then it's like, you know, like for example in Vegas, you can be spread out in the big casino and stuff. There, everything's just so
the quarter is just tight.
Yeah, there's no room to move. It's pretty wild.
But yeah, so the Nelk boys. Well, one Nelkster didn't. I guess you didn't get to see any pranks. You didn't get to see. Just wasn't too crazy. I mean, you can't party and act wild 24/7. But
right, yeah. So he's pretty chill, you know. And then, but yeah, I was like, oh, you know, I want to see something. And then it was funny too because one of the bartenders that was, you know, serving us the drinks, he pulled up his sleeve, had a full sin tat,
Oh
and I
my
was like,
gosh.
"What are the odds, dude?" And I was like, "It was just funny." I was like, "Come on," and then the bartenders were like, "Dude, what's up?" They're all pumped that he's there.
Of course, that's Missouri as hell, or the Midwest, or
Yeah, the full sin tat. That's committed.
yeah.
No, Steve will do it. He wasn't there.
Fights tonight. You got Colby or Tyrone? We're gonna watch those start in about. They're starting about the prelims are right now, so we probably wrap up here in a little bit and get to watch those. But you got Cowboys back. Cowboy. Arguably,
And Nico Price.
Nico Price. I don't really know much about that guy. I've heard good things, but Cowboy arguably won his last fight. But on paper, he is 0-3 the past 3 fights. So this would be a 4th loss if he did. But what do you think, Cowboy or this new guy, Nico? Newer guy, right?
Yeah, or at least newer on the scene to my knowledge.
Right.
I haven't known much about him, but
I want to say too, I think about this too because I'm a pretty casual fan, but there are like 500 fighters on the roster. You just can't keep up with them all, so
no.
it's hard to watch that. I remember like Brendan Schaub was saying, he was like, there's just too many people, and then Contender Series is popping up. He's signing 4 or 5 new ones every week.
Right.
So, but anyways, you got Cowboy Nico Price. What do you think? You got any thoughts?
I think Cowboy will get it done. He definitely beat Anthony Pettis.
I hope so.
And then that's like when he fought the Alex Hernandez or whatever. He was kind of an up and coming guy that was kind of stomping,
like stocky guy.
Yeah.
And he was trashing him.
Yeah, and then
He put him down.
Yeah, see, Cowboy's such a good gatekeeper, and he's like, if you beat Cowboy and you're up and coming, then you're kind of in the circle, in my opinion.
My friends don't like the comparison, but I love Cowboy, and I compare him to the Oklahoma Sooners football team.
Doesn't show up in the big. Yeah,
he's top 10, but he's not top 5 or top 4.
Right.
He'll wreck his the Big 12, but then he can't beat Clemson, Bama.
That's exactly right.
Good, but not great. Well, at least right now.
Yeah,
He's older too. But
anytime, anywhere, any place.
man, what is it? 4 fights a year usually?
That's crazy. For that consistent,
Yeah.
you got to be beat to shit.
I mean, I guess in his defense with McGregor, he didn't take he took damage, but it was quick and, ended quick, 45 seconds.
Right, not a super punishment.
I was so upset at that, man.
I wasn't.
I was. I knew
that was gonna happen.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't surprise me, but I just would have. I like to watch a longer fight, unless it's like my guy. It's kind of like, it's just like with your football team. No one's watching. No one likes when Alabama plays, Northwest Tennessee
Hangs
Technical
80 to
College.
nothing,
It's not fun. You want to watch them play LSU, and it's a dogfight. So like, I don't like the 45-second finishes. I'd like to at least see a round.
I agree, but Connor's my boy, so
Yeah, he just looked, and Cowboy he admitted he was scared, timid, just wasn't ready, and I guess I can't blame him. I can't imagine being in that situation, man.
I'm glad you brought that up, though. He uploaded a video yesterday talking about it, just like, dude, I'm just the whole time, I'm like, I don't want to be here, this and that. I like that about him. I like how, and then Darren Till does it too. He's like, I'm scared to death, because most people are like, I don't give a damn. I'm like, you are. Everyone's scared. Everyone's nervous. Everyone has anxiety.
Except Gaethje. I think his is genuine.
No.
Like, you got to take the bull. He's like, all right, man, let's go.
Well, actually, he's even said, he's like, I'm so scared, or he's like, I'm so afraid, but I love it.
Yeah, Cowboy says he pukes like every fight.
Yeah.
And then I felt like after he said that, more fighters started saying that. So I don't know if Till was just happened to be afterwards, but I know like Stephen Thompson said that.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he's played through images in his head where he's like, can I get out of this? That's ridiculous. Just the fact that these pro athletes admitted that they're scared out of their mind just because it's you and me in this cage.
Locked.
Someone's going, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's cool because most people are always like, kind of like the whole Instagram deal. People like only upload that their life's amazing, and blah blah blah. So
Filtered
at least
pictures,
at least he gets some realness, and then he's like, and because he's a bad son of a bitch, and so like you're like, damn, if Cowboy's scared, then like it's all right if I am,
Yeah, that's one of those things that is obviously everyone's a Rogan fanboy these days, including us. But admirable about Rogan is he puts up the most weird, bizarre, unfiltered, stupid pictures, but it's his real life, and there's. Like he put up that one of him with like his long back hair. He's like, this is part of being old. Or his sauna pictures where he looks like a dead gopher.
I know. And then like yesterday he uploaded because he said something on his podcast.
Yeah, he made some mistake or something.
Yeah, and he was just like, "Hey man, I didn't look into that. I was, and I acted like I did, and I was like, I'm sorry, and that was irresponsible." I'm like, "That's awesome."
Yeah, didn't
Love it.
Till say he tried to get out of the fight. He was thinking of like faking an injury or
Yeah.
something. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was like, "Man, I was just thinking about faking an injury or doing something, and just I didn't want to go out there." I was like, I mean, I feel him on that,
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. Pre-corona, 20,000 people. You're in a cage. You said, I mean, those guys are used to it, but you're half naked. You're exploited.
And I didn't, or I mean, you do realize the severity of it, but whenever I was at UFC 245 in December, who was it? It was one of the girls. She got, stoned, just knocked out, dude. And then, like I said, when you're at the live event, there's no, dude, it's pitch black where you're at. And then the only thing that's lit up is the octagon. So it's literally just like this spectacle. And then just boom. And then she's stoned. And then everyone just hooping and hollering, and then she gets up, barely knows where she's at. And I'm like, dude, you have to stand up and like walk out of here. And you just got your ass knocked out. Like, it's so vulnerable, dude.
And then you might give an interview like after the hospital. You got to go to the hospital. Yeah.
And it's just, and I was like, dude, because it was just, I was weird to be there because I was like, everyone was just laser focused on that. And I was like, dude, there's so many people in here and you're just.
And then they instantly too. So say she gets knocked out. The camera focuses on her for about 5 seconds. And then after that, you're laying there while your team's picking you up off the ground and everyone is
celebrating,
looking at the champion. It's like, as long as you're not dead, it's like you're done. Get her out of the cage.
They forgot about you. And
you're laid out to dry.
Yeah. Like poor old Ben Askren.
Oh, my gosh. What about, well, actually, you know what? Ben, he said they felt no pain.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee he didn't.
He said he doesn't remember leaving the cage. That's so crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, dude,
He woke up, he's like, well, I got knocked out by George Masvidal in 3 seconds. Like,
that
not
sucked.
much I can say about that. I thought it was funny how he said, George said it was necessary because he was talking so much trash, but then Ben was like, are you telling me if I didn't talk trash, he was going to take it easy on me? But at the same time, he's like, you really pissed him off.
Oh, yeah.
And he, you didn't talk so much crap. It might have went a couple rounds or it might have went a little bit. Dude, the craziest move I've ever seen in probably any sport. I thought it looked fake. It looked staged because it happened so fast.
Like it was supposed to happen. Dude, that's what I'm telling you. That's what, or at least for me, like I used
you
to.
sound like a philosopher. This was supposed to.
It was like it was meant to happen.
The universe meant for this.
Like, because I've been such a football fan my entire life. And then now, like I said, I watch it still, but not near as much. But I'm just like, dude, you can't, like moments like that, I'm like, I'll never forget where I was at for these crazy fights like that. Like Amanda Nunes, when she sparked Chris Cyborg, I remember I was in my living room at Braden, 1443 South Braden Avenue, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, God.
And, dude, lost my voice. And I was just, like, yelling. Everyone was like, what the and then we're in Canada in that bar.
Winnipeg.
I like, look around, and, dude, I feel like everyone's jaw was just on the floor. And I was like, what the fuck? You
Yeah.
just don't forget that, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. That was insane. I didn't know Johnny Walker was on tonight.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that guy. That guy is weird.
Kind of weird. I saw him in person, though, and he is
really
huge.
He looks like it.
Dude, he's so tall.
What is he, like 6'4", 6'3"?
Yeah, he looked like it.
He looks like he could hurt someone, but he he is weird, man.
Yeah, I don't. Not a fan either.
You got we started talking about it, but we got sidetracked. You got Colby Covington or Tyrone Woodley.
Yeah, I'm going with the people's champ, Donald Trump's favorite fighter, Colby Chaos Covington.
Oh, man.
The volume he throws is insane.
I hope this one's good. I hope it goes a while.
Me too.
I'd like to see another Colby Usman style one. Colby is an idiot. He's been entertaining, but I don't like Woodley. He's great. I don't dislike him. Just not my guy.
Something about it. Yeah. See, I like him. But dude, his past 2 fights, he's just not been aggressive and not like, it's like he didn't want to be there.
And real timid.
Yeah, and then he's just, because he's got that knockout power, dude. And
yeah,
it's just
he can swing.
Dude, he can put someone away.
He's built, man.
Dude,
I've said it. His shorts are about to pop off.
Dude, he looked like he was built in a lab, and his body's so symmetrical. Like, it's just, he's built perfect.
I feel like he needs to take the Luke Rockhold mold and go like model for polo.
Literally, and then his beard's perfect.
It is.
He is the
just a good looking guy.
Yeah, he is. Tyron Woodley is very good looking for a dude.
Yeah, like Luke Rockhold. I mean, fight too, but Take the polo
I
deal.
would.
and
I would
go all day.
dude. I would be out of this son of a bitch in a heart. If someone was like, "Hey, do you want to fist fight naked in the octagon or model for polo?" I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Let's model." For
You can be in a
polo.
magazine for $100,000 and get free clothes forever and free cologne, or you can,
Sign me up.
get knocked out and you're on the back end of your career and you're taking some damage.
You've already been champ.
Yeah.
Peace. And Woodley, you've been champ for a long time.
So, question twofold: if you are Connor, are you fighting again? And question 1A, is he fighting again?
If I'm Conor McGregor, I would have never even thought about swinging another punch after I fought Floyd Mayweather ever again. And so that's why, and he does have a point. That's what I'm saying. Like when he comes back, I'm like, dude, the guy's gotta love it because like he's got it made. Because there's people that ditch out of the game with far less money.
George St. Pierre said he said he never liked fighting. He said he did it because he was so good. He said he hated it.
Mhm.
Or not hated it, but he said I didn't enjoy it. I was just timid. That's crazy for him being a legend. Imagine if he like enjoyed fighting like some of these other guys like Gaethje.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but I agree.
And then I think he will fight again. Yeah.
21,
Mm-hmm.
not 20. You
What I
think we're
think,
on one a year,
and
back to one fight a year.
it's inevitable. I think he's got to have a boxing match at the new Allegiant Stadium.
Really?
It's got to happen.
With who? No Floyd.
Floyd or Manny.
But
It's gonna happen.
I just feel like I guess I feel like nothing will ever level up to the Floyd
It won't.
Connor one, and so I feel like
Such a great
it's just
build
not
up.
as good. Yeah, great build up. And there's so many theories. Did Floyd try? Did he not try? Did Connor do good? But whatever the situation was, no one will ever really know except for those two.
Uh-huh.
It was entertaining.
But
For sure.
So here's the deal: because Floyd's doing all these money, he's about to try, or at least talking about fighting Logan Paul. So
Yeah.
and he's
But remember, sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah.
remember, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was, he filmed that little video on Instagram teasing people where he's taking laps in the octagon. Remember?
yeah.
And then he will never do that because then he tried it with the fixed rules. He was like, I'll do it if some ridiculous rules. He always
Basically boxing, but in octagon.
he always tailors the game to him, which, he can do that. But
Yeah, but there's too much money to be made, and he's too good to not do it right now.
Who?
Like, and him and McGregor, like, they would just be stupid not to do it because it's like there's so much money to be made. They're both good. They both can sell. You could snap a picture of them being best friends on the weekend, and they'd still sell the fight like they hate each other, and people would still buy it.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I said. I guarantee they probably texting like, "We just scammed the whole world." You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was entertaining.
yeah, it was great.
And I don't understand the boxing world, how they get all that money, but, we paid $100.
Yeah.
So
I would've paid $200.
we split it. So it wasn't that much, but he made over $300 million. Floyd. I just don't get where the numbers come from. I'll never until someone breaks it down for me in stupid terms. But so you think 21 is MMA and boxing, or it's going to come eventually? What do you think?
So what I'm really curious about is because I know Zuffa has talked about getting into the boxing game. UFC is owned by like Zuffa or whatever.
Zuffa Inc.
Yeah.
LLC or whatever.
So I think that's going to be their number one, their first fight. It's got to be McGregor boxing. That has to be.
I want Gaethje McGregor.
Me too.
I don't care if it's for a belt. I don't care if it's for a lollipop. I want it.
Lollipop. Yeah, I want it too.
He never responded to him until after he got his title shot. And then I think it's interesting that they said which you never know with these negotiations. He said
That they were close to.
Well, they said they offered.
Before Cowboy.
No, not that.
Well, Connor said he was like.
With Gaethje?
Yeah, he was like, we're on opponent. He was like, they were like, who? He was like, oh, we almost fought in. Or he's like,
Yep.
I think it was MSG. They were gonna do it, and he was like, they're like, who's the leading opponent? He was like, Gaethje, I believe.
I was thinking or referencing whenever that when Habib and Tony fell out, that he was offered Tony for the interim title, and he said he was on a backup shot. I'm like, but then he said he kept saying he was on standby because he knew that fight wasn't going to go through. So who's lying here? Remember?
Yeah.
So who's lying? But I guess they said he offered it and then he declined it. Why would you decline that?
I don't know. But I mean, at this point though, too, I mean, he's always been game his whole career. Like, let's roll with it, last minute, this and that. But at that point, dude, because the thing is, a loss to your record is detrimental. It's like, so you got to be. I'm sure he's picking and choosing a little bit. I absolutely would. I'd be like, this is my show now.
Yeah, true.
You got to.
So if he comes back 21, who's he fight?
Whoever has the title. He's not fighting unless it's for a title after. I mean, because that was a very secure W and everyone knew it. And
But do you think that's enough to put him back in the shot? Because Cowboys,
dude, it doesn't matter.
most people that fight Cowboy don't get title shots.
Bro, Michael Chandler just got signed with the UFC, and he's the
Yeah.
backup for that. It doesn't matter in the UFC
in this business,
in the game.
in this game.
It doesn't though, because it's just all about what's gonna sell and who's this and that, and yeah. So he'll get another title shot. Maybe it'll be Khabib's last ride. I don't know.
I know he wanted to fight George, but it doesn't look promising. So
Yeah, dude, Masvidal's a killer. That guy's good.
you think he would fight him?
Connor?
Mm-hmm.
I think he would. Yeah. I don't know how the outcome of that would be, but
He's so much bigger.
yeah.
Well, I mean, on paper and on film, he looks bigger to us. We don't really know, I guess, but
It is crazy though that McGregor's fought from 45 to 70. I'm like, that's pretty.
3 classes.
Mm-hmm.
That is impressive.
It is. Most people don't. I do have a lot more admiration for people like Cejudo. I'm like, dude, getting the
Just bouncing around.
Yeah, I'm like the weight because
Save the flyweight division.
dude, 10 pounds is a lot. You know, when it comes
Especially
to
when you're
fighting.
when you're at the bottom of the bottom.
Exactly. And then so good for him. I think he'll come back too.
Yeah, he's
Got to
He's-
for a big money fight.
yeah, he said blatantly up front on
He
Joe
would.
that he's retired, but if the money was right, which
Everyone's like that.
yeah, I compared this is my comparison. I don't know if anyone else would think of it like this, but I could compare Conor coming back after Floyd to a regular fight being like, we'll say you're at a job and you make $100,000 a year and then you quit or take a break. Someone offers you the same job doing the same thing for $25,000 a year or $30,000. You would be like, you would
No.
never consider. You'd be like, no way. Especially if you could maybe go back to the other one, or if you didn't need the money, you got all this other stuff going on. You know, you're a recruiter right now. You're like, you quit. You're like, you want to recruit for an eighth of what you were doing, or a tenth, or whatever ridiculous number it is. Like,
Zer.
yeah,
No.
what was it, 100 million to like 10 to 50? No one knows the real numbers, but a substantial cut.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It's like me. I would never go back to the staffing industry. Terrible.
Pretty brutal, huh?
It's the worst.
It's a grind.
Nah,
Yeah.
it's not the worst, but yeah, it's a grind for sure.
Well, I don't got anything else if you don't. I think we're middle of the prelims right now, so we probably need to hop on there. Started about an hour ago East Coast, so we're probably getting close to the main card before too long. So,
Yep.
final pick, Colby Covington.
I think it'll go to distance though, just because Woodley's last fight, he was getting his ass whooped, but it went to distance too, and he's tough. And then Colby's not really a KO guy.
Yeah,
either.
he's only had
Volume.
like 2 finishes, right?
I think so.
He's
So,
like 17-2 or something with like 2 finishes. Yeah,
yeah,
more of a distance guy. More
exactly.
like a outpace you. So
he's throwing those 60% just coming. Like it with Robbie Lawler, he threw he landed like 515 significant strikes. I was like, what?
dude, I couldn't punch
What?
the air 500 times without passing out.
That's what I'm saying. And dude, he was just boom, 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 and he'd take down,
It's like-
pop up, boom, 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 take
It's like,
down.
all right, I'm going to put you in this room. I'm going to come back in 3 hours. You got 500 punches in the air. I'd come back and be like, Gatorade.
Yeah, dude, I'd do like
And
10
then
air
you-
squats and I'm out of it.
Oh
Freaking
my
breath.
gosh. I guess last thing hit on that. Do you like Colby's figure that he's done and pitched? And do you agree with it because the way his story was?
Yeah.
I used to hate Colby. Like, I still don't really care for him. He's funny. He's an idiot. Like a funny, kind of a stupid funny guy. But I can't blame him.
No, so whenever he first started all that, I was like, dude, terrible, annoying.
He
idiot.
takes it too far, but at the same time,
Yeah.
he's trying to save his job, and
Oh.
that's the art of this business or their business. So
Right. I was like, this guy's an idiot, but I was like, but he can bang, he can fight.
yeah,
And then, but now it's like I said, whenever I went to 245 and I saw the crowd, because I was like, everyone's going to hate him, but dude, it was weird because all I've seen is people online just trolling him, trolling, and you get in person, and it was like, Colby fan.
Really?
People were like, I was like, dude, there's a lot of, he's got a pretty big fan base. And then you're like, dude, I mean, he's got to find a way, he's got to make his own way, and it might be unconventional, but like, you got to get it done, and you got to stand out. It's like, Sugar stands out his own way. It's, has his own little
yeah.
crowd.
Talent doesn't get you just enough in the UFC. You got to kind of show out and like I said, stand out in some art form.
Exactly, because that's all it is. So good for him.
I want to bet now. Gosh, sports gambling. So
Check
fun.
out the lines. Check out the lines real quick.
All right, let's look at them real quick. Oh, of course I think I don't have my MGM app anymore, but there's a
I
website
do.
real quick. I'll look at it. Yeah,
I got William Hill Caesars, CG Sports, and BetMGM. So.
Got to Colorado about 3 weeks ago. Had no idea that they legalized sports gambling here. Let's see. So Bovada I use quite a bit off record. Not supposed to, but okay, this is weird. On Bovada it's not showing.
Off record
Okay.
while you're on record.
So you got Colby minus 340, and then you got Woodley plus 260. So if you bet $100 on Colby, you'd only win $29. And if you bet $100 on Tyrone Woodley, you'd win $260. That goes back to you talking about your odds. You think Colby's going to win, but
See, I would bet I'll be comfortable betting Woodley because I'm like I could see him KOing him.
yeah, because it could happen.
Exactly,
And he
that's
hates
where
this dude.
exactly that's where it gets me. I'm like, oh,
So and I, mean, I think it'd be pretty wild for Woodley to lose 3 in a row. You got to think about that. It happens, but yeah. So you bet 100 on Woodley, you win 260 plus your 100 back.
yeah,
We might hop off here and load $100 onto it. Yeah, bet on sports is so much more fun. It lasts longer. It's not a random slot machine. You feel like you have a little insight.
Dude, I get worked up though.
Oh yeah,
I get worked up.
with when we both lost 100 on Ferguson, damn you, Justin Gaethje. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. But God,
Yeah, if you're listening to this, please give me my money back.
it's like mom shouting out, Britney Spears. If you can hear this, it was like if Britney Spears is listening to this,
Then my day's made.
Yeah.
Then I've made it.
right? All right, let's wrap it up. Let's go lay a little money down or do something and check him in. So, thanks for listening if you did, and we'll catch you guys next time.
All right, see y'all.